I am now standing at the precipice of a radical transformation. This is not merely a change of habit, but a change of habitation. You are moving your dwelling place from the realm of effect to the realm of cause. The scripture speaks of the Holy of Holies, which is a sacred inner sanctum where the presence of the divine dwells in absolute fullness. But understand this clearly, for this is not a physical location found in an ancient temple made of stone and mortar. The Holy of Holies is the deepest chamber of your own consciousness. It is that silent place within you where the noise of the world fades away and the voice of the infinite becomes audible. Most people live their entire lives in the outer court of the temple. They live in the noisy marketplace of their senses, where they are constantly reacting to what they see, what they hear, and what the news tells them. They are slaves to the timeline of struggle. But today, I am stepping out of that timeline. The timeline of struggle is a horizontal line where you believe that you must work hard for years to achieve a meager result. It is the belief in process and delay. It is the belief that success is hard and that money is scarce. When you are on this timeline, you are operating under the laws of the carnal mind, which says you must fight for your survival. But there is another timeline. There is a vertical lift that takes you into the timeline of infinite grace. This is the dimension of the miraculous. When I say I am entering the Holy of Holies, I am saying that I am shutting the door to the outer senses and opening the inner eye of the Spirit. In this sacred space, there is no struggle because there is no resistance. There is only the flow of the divine design. I am aligning my vibration with the frequency of pure, unadulterated abundance. Let us dissect what this means. Everything in this universe is energy vibrating at a specific frequency. Poverty is a vibration. It is a slow, heavy, and dense frequency filled with fear and contraction. Wealth is a vibration. It is light, expansive, and rapid. You cannot perceive the broadcast of wealth if your internal radio is tuned to the frequency of lack. You might ask for money with your lips, but if your vibration is screaming fear, you will only attract more reasons to be afraid. Therefore, the work of the awakening is not about manipulating the outside world. It is about tuning the instrument of your own soul. I am now calibrating my energy field to match the frequency of the gold that belongs to me by divine right. I speak the word of power, and the word is wealth. In the beginning was the Word. This is the ancient law. Your word is your wand. It is a radioactive force. When you speak a word of power, you are not just making a sound. You are releasing a specific energetic command into the ether. Most people speak words of weakness. They say, I cannot afford it, or times are hard. By doing so, they are locking themselves out of the Holy of Holies. But I speak the word of truth, and the word is freedom. Freedom is the natural state of the spirit. Bondage and debt are unnatural. They are man-made illusions created by a hypnotized mind. To awaken is to snap out of the hypnosis. I am waking up to the fact that I am a spiritual being, having a human experience, and as a spiritual being, I am heir to a kingdom that includes all supply. I am not waiting for the world to change. This is the trap that keeps millions in poverty. They wait for the economy to improve. They wait for a new president. They wait for a boss to be generous. That is the way of the victim. I am changing my world from the inside out. I realize now that my outer world is nothing more than a mirror reflecting my inner states. If I want the reflection in the mirror to smile, I must smile first. I cannot manipulate the reflection while I remain angry or fearful inside. I declare that the doors of my divine treasury are now swinging wide open. These doors were never locked by God. God does not lock us out of our own good. We lock ourselves out with our doubts and our fears and our belief in unworthiness. But the moment I realize that I am one with the source, the lock dissolves. The doors are not stuck. They are not locked. They are open. I walk through them with my head held high. I walk with the dignity of a prince or a princess returning home. I walk into a landscape of unlimited opportunity. Imagine for a moment a room filled with every resource you will ever need. In this room, there are ideas that can generate millions. In this room, there are connections to the right people. In this room, there is courage. In this room, there is capital. This room exists in the fourth dimension, the world of the wondrous. It is right here, overlaying your current reality. You have not seen it because you have been looking through the lens of lack. But now, as you enter the Holy of Holies of your consciousness, your vision clears. You begin to see the invisible supply that surrounds you. I do not look back at the past. The past is a canceled check. This is one of the most vital truths of the awakening. You cannot drive a car forward while staring into the rearview mirror. If you do, you will crash. Yet, so many people try to build a wealthy future while mentally living in a bankrupt past. They replay their failures. They replay their losses. They replay the times they were cheated. By replaying these scenes, they are recreating them in the present. I refuse to do this. The past is a dissolved debt. It has no life unless I give it my blood. I withdraw my energy from the past. The past has no power over me. I am here. I am now. And in this now moment, I am rich. Notice that I do not say I will be rich. To say I will be is to place your good in the future, and the future never arrives because it is always tomorrow. I affirm that I am rich now. I am rich in spirit, which is the substance of all money. I am rich in mind, which is the mold of all manifestation. I am rich in manifestation because the law must fulfill my decree. I dissolve every block that I have ever placed in the way of my own good. These blocks are often made of resentment and unforgiveness. You cannot have a heart filled with resentment and a pocket filled with money. The two cannot coexist. Therefore, part of this awakening is a great cleansing. I dissolve the fear of success. It sounds strange, but many people fear success more than failure. They fear the responsibility that comes with wealth. They fear they will be judged. They fear they will lose their friends. I dissolve this fear. I dissolve the fear of failure. Failure is nothing but a ghost. It is a learning experience on the way to the win. I dissolve the fear of responsibility. I am ready to receive. I am expanding my container. If you go to the ocean of abundance with a teaspoon, you will only bring back a teaspoon of water. The ocean is not stingy. The ocean is vast. It is your container that is small. I am throwing away the teaspoon. I am bringing a bucket. I am digging a trench. I am ready to handle massive wealth. I am ready to be a steward of great fortune. Wealth is a responsibility. It is energy given to you to circulate and to bless. I am safe with money, and money is safe with me. I make peace with my bank account. Many people look at their bank accounts with dread. They project hate and fear onto their money, and because money is energy, it runs away from that negative vibration. I change my relationship with money right now in this Holy of Holies. I bless my bank account. I bless every penny I have. I bless my bills, for they represent my ability to pay and my participation in the vast economy of life. I make peace with my desires. Your desire to be rich is not evil. It is the urge of the infinite seeking expression through you. It is God wanting to give you the kingdom so that you may live abundantly. It is holy to prosper. It is divine to thrive. Suffering is not a virtue. Poverty is not spiritual. God is the owner of the cattle on 1,000 hills, and gold and silver are His. As His child, you are entitled to your share. It is my destiny to overflow. I do not chase money. When you chase something, you acknowledge that it is separate from you and running away. I do not run after money. I do not beg for money. Begging affirms lack. Begging says I do not have. I magnetize money. I become a magnet by embodying the quality of gold in my character. I am a center of gravity for divine supply. Wherever I go, abundance follows me. It follows me because I bring it with me. I bring the consciousness of plenty into every room I enter. Whatever I touch turns to gold. This is the Midas touch of the spiritual initiate. It means that because my mind is aligned with success, every project I undertake is infused with that success energy. Whoever I meet becomes a bridge to my blessing. Even those who seem to be against me can be used by the divine design to push me toward my destiny. I am not lucky. I am aligned. I am not fortunate. I am faithful. Faith is the chemicalizing agent. It is the force that turns the vapor of imagination into the solid concrete of reality. I am now fully present in the Holy of Holies. The noise of the world has stopped. The doubts of the intellect are silenced. In this silence, I know that I am one with the infinite intelligence that governs the stars and the tides. And if this intelligence can manage the galaxies, surely it can manage my bank account. I surrender my struggle. I step out of the timeline of delay. I step into the timeline of now. I am awake. I am aware. I am abundant. The old me is dead, and the new me is rising. I am ready for the next step of this journey, which is to clear the slate completely and prepare the ground for the harvest that is sure to come. Now that we have entered the Holy of Holies of our own consciousness and aligned ourselves with the vibration of the awakened state, we must address the greatest thief of your prosperity, which is your attachment to the past. You cannot walk into a landscape of unlimited opportunity while dragging the heavy rusted chains of yesterday behind you. We must understand clearly what the past is in the eyes of the divine economy. The past is a canceled check. Imagine for a moment that you are holding a check from 10 years ago. It may have been valid once, or it may have been written for a transaction that went wrong, but today it has no currency. You cannot walk into a bank and demand cash for a check that has been voided. Yet, this is exactly what millions of people do every single day in the mental realm. They try to cash the checks of their old failures. They try to cash the checks of their old traumas. And when the universe refuses to honor these voided checks, they become bitter and confused. We must look at this with absolute logic. The subconscious mind is a faithful recorder, but it does not understand time. It only understands the present moment. Every time you emotionally replay a memory of a financial loss, or a business failure, or a moment of embarrassment, you are not merely remembering it. You are reenacting it. You are stamping it with the seal of now. By dwelling on the mistake of 5 years ago, you are bringing the vibration of that mistake into this present moment, and your subconscious mind says, "So be it," and begins to arrange your current circumstances to match that old pattern. This is why history repeats itself. It repeats because you have not stopped playing the record. You are keeping the groove deep by running the needle over it again and again. To become truly wealthy, you must break the record. You must declare that the past is dead and that you will no longer serve as its gravedigger. Consider the ancient story of Lot's wife. She was told to flee the city of destruction and to not look back. But she looked back, and she was turned into a pillar of salt. This is not just a fable, it is a scientific formula for what happens to the human mind. Salt is a preservative. When you look back at your past difficulties, you preserve them. You crystallize them. You turn a fleeting moment of lack into a permanent statue of limitation in your life. Many of you are carrying salt statues of your past debts. You are carrying salt statues of the time you were fired or the time you made a bad investment. Today we smash those statues. We dissolve them in the ocean of divine forgiveness. You must forgive yourself for your financial mistakes. Remorse is a violation of spiritual law because it implies that the power of the past is greater than the power of God in the present. The past is a dissolved debt. It has no power over you unless you give it your power. You must realize that the person you were when you made those mistakes no longer exists. Every cell in your body has changed and your consciousness has expanded. You are a new creation. Why then do you punish the new creation for the acts of the old one? Stop looking at the closed doors behind you. As long as you stare at the door that slammed shut, you cannot see the massive gate that is swinging open in front of you. The energy you spend regretting the past is the exact same energy you need to create your future. You cannot spend it twice. You must choose. Will you spend your mental capital buying back your old regrets, or will you invest it in your new vision? This requires a strict diet of the mind. You must refuse to entertain the conversation of what if. What if I had bought that stock? What if I had taken that job? These are the questions of a poverty mindset. The divine design has no missed opportunities. If you missed a boat, it was because a better ship was coming or because that boat was destined to sink. Trust the timing of your life. The divine economy is efficient. It gathers up the fragments so that nothing is lost. Even your mistakes can be turned into assets if you release the guilt associated with them. Your past failures are simply compost. They are the fertilizer for your new growth. But you do not live in the compost pile. You use it to feed the garden, and then you look at the flowers. So, I say to you now that the past is a canceled check. Tear it up mentally. Burn it in the fire of your spirit. When a thought of past lack tries to enter your mind, you must treat it like an unwanted solicitor at your door. Do not invite it in for tea. Do not give it a chair. Slam the door. Say to it, I do not know you. You have no place here. I am busy creating my empire. I am here. I am now. And in this now moment, I am rich. I am rich because I am unencumbered. I am light. I am free. By releasing the weight of yesterday, I float to the top of my vibration today. I am ready to receive because my hands are no longer full of yesterday's garbage. I am open. I am clean. I am new. This is the truth of the canceled check. It is the liberation of your soul, and it is the prerequisite for the massive abundance that we are about to claim. Having burned the bridges to the past and declared yesterday a canceled check, we now turn our attention to the present moment and the condition of your internal channels. We must understand that the flow of abundance is constant. God is the giver, and his nature is to give. The sun does not stop shining because you close your blinds. The water does not stop flowing because a pipe is clogged. If there is a lack of wealth in your life, it is never due to a shortage of supply. It is always due to a blockage in the channel. That channel is you. Today we are going to walk around the walls of your own mental Jericho and blow the trumpet of truth until every stone crumbles. We are here to do the work of dissolving every block that you have ever placed in the way of your own good. The most common and dangerous block to financial freedom is resentment. This is a hard truth, but it must be spoken. You cannot have a heart filled with resentment and a pocket filled with money. The two vibrations are chemically incompatible. Resentment is a wall of steel that you build around your own heart. When you resent someone for their success, or when you hate someone for a wrong they did to you, you are unconsciously telling the universe that you believe in a power other than God. You are saying that this person has the power to hurt you or to stop your supply. This belief creates a dam in the river of your life. To dissolve this block, you must practice the alchemy of forgiveness. You do not forgive for their sake. You forgive because you are too ambitious to carry the heavy luggage of hate. You forgive to clear the debris from your own channel so that the gold can rush in. The second great block is the fear of success. It sounds contradictory because everyone claims they want to be rich. But deep down, in the subconscious mind, many of you are terrified of it. The fear of success is often disguised as the fear of change. The ego prefers a comfortable and familiar struggle over an unknown and vast success. You might fear that money will change you, or that it will bring responsibilities you cannot handle. You might fear that if you become wealthy, you will be judged or isolated. These are the whispers of the small self trying to keep you small. We dissolve the fear of responsibility today. We realize that money is simply an amplifier. If you are good, money will make you better. If you are kind, money will allow you to be kinder on a larger scale. We also face the block of unworthiness. This is the subtle feeling that you do not deserve the good that is coming to you. You might think you are not smart enough or educated enough or spiritual enough. But the divine economy is not a merit system based on human standards. It is a system of grace. You are worthy, not because of what you have done, but because of who you are. You are an heir to the kingdom. A prince does not have to earn his inheritance, he simply has to claim it. When you feel unworthy, you are essentially pushing away the gift that the universe is trying to hand you. You are saying no to God. Today, we dissolve this block by affirming our divine heritage. We declare that we are ready to receive. This leads us to the action required to keep these blocks dissolved, which is the act of preparation. There is a story of kings in the desert who needed water. They were told to dig ditches, even though there was no cloud in the sky. They had to prepare the ground for the rain before the rain fell. This is the law of active faith. Many people pray for rain, but they refuse to dig the ditches. They ask for wealth, but they make no preparation for it. They keep their closets cluttered. They keep their wallets disorganized. They talk about poverty. To dissolve the blocks, you must act as if you have already received. You must dig your ditches. You must expand your capacity to believe. When you start to act, the blocks begin to melt. The fear of failure, which is nothing more than the shadow of the ego, evaporates in the light of action. We dissolve the fear of failure by redefining it. Failure is not a destination, it is merely a redirection. It is a signpost pointing you to a better way. When you understand this, the paralysis leaves you. You become fluid. You become open. You become a clear channel. I speak the word now to dissolve every crystallized thought of lack in your consciousness. I dissolve the fear of the future. I dissolve the anxiety of the how. I command the walls of your mental Jericho to fall flat. The way is clear. The road is open. You have made peace with your past, and now you have cleared the channel of your present. You are ready to handle massive wealth because you are no longer resisting it. You are safe with money, and money is safe with you. You are a conduit of blessing, and the river is rushing towards you. As we move forward, understand that this cleared channel is the secret to the divine economy. You have done the work of excavation, and now you are ready for the flood of good. Now that we have dissolved the internal blocks to abundance and cleared the debris from our consciousness, we must make a critical decision regarding where we place our trust. We stand with one foot in the visible world and one foot in the invisible world, and we must choose which system we will serve. There are two economies operating simultaneously on this planet. There is the economy of the world, and there is the economy of the spirit, or what we call the divine economy. The economy of the world is a fluctuating tide driven by the collective consciousness of fear and greed. It is volatile and unstable. It rises on rumors and falls on panic. It is a system based on the belief in scarcity and competition, where for one to win, another must lose. If you tie your lifeline to the economy of the world, you will be tossed about like a small boat in a hurricane. You will wake up every morning checking the news with anxiety, wondering if inflation will devour your savings or if a recession will take your job. This is the path of the victim, and it is the path of stress. But there is a higher law and a higher system. The divine economy is the economy of the spirit, and it is forever expanding. In this system, there is no lack because the source is infinite. The supply does not come from the market, it comes from the maker. When you align yourself with the divine economy, you declare independence from the circumstances of the world. You trust the law of God more than you trust the laws of economics. The economy of the world may rise and fall, but the economy of the spirit is constant. It is the steady flow of substance that never dries up. To live in this economy, you must make a radical shift in your perception of where your money actually comes from. We often make the fatal mistake of confusing the channel with the source. We look at our job, or our business, or our clients, or the government, and we say, "This is my source of income." That is a lie. These are not your source. These are just channels. They are just pipes. But God is the water. God is the flow. If you stare at the pipe and the pipe gets clogged or breaks, you will panic because you think your supply has been cut off. But if you know that God is the water, you do not fear the closing of a pipe. You know that the water is still flowing, and the pressure of that infinite supply will simply burst open a new pipe or find a new channel instantly. If one door shuts, 1,000 new ones open. If one job ends, a better career begins. This is the confidence of the one who lives in the divine economy. I stop looking at my employer as my provider. My employer is merely the avenue through which my good is currently arriving, but he is not the God of my supply. I stop looking at the stock market as the dictator of my security. My security is built on the rock of spiritual understanding, not on the shifting sands of ticker symbols. This shift in perspective is the ultimate freedom. It means that no person and no government and no economic downturn can stop my good from reaching me. My supply is a spiritual agreement between me and the infinite. The universe is my paymaster. When you work, you are working for the Spirit, and the Spirit pays generously. We must stop reading the news of lack and calling it truth. The news reports only the limitations of the world economy. It tells you that times are hard. But in the divine economy, times are always ripe for the harvest. There are people who become millionaires during recessions. Why is this? It is because they refused to participate in the collective hallucination of poverty. They stayed tuned to the station of abundance. They saw opportunity where others saw ruin. You must guard your mind against the contagion of fear. When the world screams recession, you must whisper expansion. When the world screams scarcity, you must shout abundance. You live in the world, but you are not of it. You operate under a different set of rules. The world says hoard because you might run out. The divine economy says circulate because the flow is endless. The world says get all you can. The divine economy says give and it shall be given unto you. By operating these spiritual laws, you become a magnet for prosperity regardless of what the external charts are doing. You become a sanctuary of success. Your home and your business become an oasis of plenty in a desert of doubt. This is not magic, it is alignment. It is the realization that your financial life is not governed by the Federal Reserve, but by your own mental reserve of faith and expectation. Therefore, I declare today that I am a citizen of the divine economy. My passport is stamped with the seal of the kingdom. I do not fear the economic winter, for I carry the eternal summer of the soul within me. My supply comes from the invisible and makes itself visible in perfect ways. I am connected to the inexhaustible resource that created the stars, and this resource is more than enough to pay my bills and fund my dreams. I relax into this truth. I let go of the tension of the world. I breathe in the peace of the divine. I am safe. I am supplied, and I am forever free from the tyranny of the visible world. We have now established our residence in the divine economy, and we have severed our mental dependence on the fluctuating markets of the world. However, even with this new foundation, there remains one final trap that ensnares the majority of truth seekers. It is the trap of the intellect. It is the obsession with the how. You know what you want. You want financial freedom. You want the debt paid. You want the new home. But immediately after stating your desire, your human mind begins to panic and asks, but how will it happen? Where will the money come from? Who will help me? This frantic questioning is the very thing that strangles your manifestation in the crib. Today, we are going to learn the master skill of spiritual success, which is the art of releasing the how to infinite intelligence. We must establish a clear division of labor between you and the universe. There is a partnership here, but you must know your role. Your business is the what. The how is not your business. The how is the business of God. When you try to figure out the how, you are stepping out of your lane and trying to do God's job for Him. The human intellect is a wonderful tool for analyzing the past and organizing the present, but it is woefully inadequate at predicting the future. Your intellect can only see the channels that already exist. It looks at your salary and says, this is the only way. It looks at your savings and says, this is all there is. It is limited by logic, and logic is limited by experience. But the infinite intelligence that created the galaxies is not limited by your logic. It has ways and means that you know not of. It has channels that are currently invisible to you, but are ready to spring into action the moment you get out of the way. When you dictate the how, you actually limit the universe. If you say, I want to be rich by winning the lottery, you have just closed a million other doors and left only one tiny window open. You have told infinite intelligence, do not bring me money through a business idea. Do not bring me money through an inheritance. Do not bring me money through a gift. Only bring it through this one specific ticket. That is arrogance, and it is folly. You must stop outlining the channels. You must stop telling the divine design how to work. Instead, you must stand on the platform of the what. What I claim is total financial freedom. What I claim is an avalanche of abundance. I leave the details to the wisdom that created the stars. That wisdom knows the quickest way to bring me my money. It sees the path of least resistance. It knows where the gold is buried, and it knows how to lead me to it. This requires a surrender of the ego. The ego loves to control. It loves to manipulate. It feels safe only when it can see every step of the staircase. But faith is climbing the staircase when you cannot see the top. You must trust that the universe is smarter than you. You must trust that the timing of the divine is better than your deadline. Man's extremity is God's opportunity. Often, it is only when we have exhausted our human resources and given up on our own schemes that the infinite can finally step in and work a miracle. Why wait until you are exhausted? Why not surrender the burden of the how right now? I expect surprise money to find me today. This affirmation is powerful because it opens your mind to the unexpected. We often block our good because it tries to come to us in a package we did not recognize. We are looking for a check in the mail, but the money might be trying to come through a new idea or a chance meeting or a sudden opportunity to serve. By releasing the how, you become a radar for opportunity. You are no longer looking for one specific thing, so you are able to see everything. You expect the unexpected. You become comfortable with the mystery. You realize that the how is often a series of synchronicities that no human mind could have planned. I get out of the way. I stop blocking the flow with my worry. Worry is the result of trying to figure out the how with a limited mind. It is a mental hamster wheel that generates heat but no movement. I refuse to worry. I relax. I breathe. I open. The moment you stop struggling to make it happen is often the moment it happens. This is because you have removed the friction of doubt from the wire. You have allowed the current to flow unimpeded. The floodgates are opening now, not because you forced them open, but because you finally took your hand off the handle and let the water pressure of the divine do its work. I leave the details to the master architect. If you hired the greatest architect in the world to build your house, you would not stand over his shoulder telling him how to draw the blueprints or how to mix the concrete. You would trust his expertise. You have a vision of the house, but he has the skill to build it. So it is with your life. You have the vision of wealth. Hold that vision. Feel the reality of it. Walk in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. But let the master architect handle the structural engineering of your destiny. He knows how to bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. My business is the what, and my what is prosperity. I stand firm on this claim. I do not waver. I do not doubt. I do not wonder how. I simply know that it is done. The check has been signed in the spirit, and the delivery is guaranteed. The how is unfolding right now, even if I cannot see it. Roots are growing in the dark. Ships are coming in from the sea. The machinery of the universe is turning in my favor. I rest in this knowing. I rest in the certainty that the how is taken care of, and my only job is to be ready to receive. If you are feeling a shift in your energy, and you are ready to stop the intellectual struggle and embrace the divine flow, I invite you to become a pillar of this community. By liking this video and subscribing to this channel, you are signaling to the universe that you have chosen the path of abundance. You are surrounding yourself with the frequency of truth. Join us as we continue to unlock the treasury of the kingdom together. We have reached a pivotal point in our journey through the secret door. We have awakened our consciousness. We have canceled the checks of the past. We have dissolved our internal blocks, and we have surrendered the how to the infinite. Now, we must sanctify the very object of our desire. We must heal our relationship with money itself. For centuries, humanity has been infected with a virus of the mind that says money is evil or that poverty is a badge of holiness. I am here to tell you that this is a lie fabricated by the carnal mind to keep you small. Money is not evil. Money is innocent. Money is simply energy. It is a tool of the divine imagination, waiting to be directed by your intent. To despise money is to despise the energy of God in action. We must reframe our understanding of wealth completely. Money is God in manifestation as freedom. Money is God in manifestation as support. Money is a spiritual tool that allows you to express your divinity fully in this three-dimensional world. I have a wonderful relationship with money. This must be your new mantra. You cannot attract what you secretly condemn. If you look at wealthy people with suspicion, or if you look at luxury with guilt, you are building a wall between yourself and your own supply. You must make friends with the mammon of unrighteousness and convert it into a servant of light. Money is a servant of my joy. It is meant to be used. It is meant to circulate. This brings us to the great law of circulation, which is the heartbeat of financial health. Money is often called currency, and this word is derived from the current of a river. A river is fresh and alive only as long as it flows. If you dam up the river, it becomes a stagnant swamp. It breeds disease and death. The same is true for your finances. If you hoard money out of fear, if you clutch every dollar with a tight fist, you are stopping the flow. You are telling the universe that you do not trust the source to provide more. You are acting as if the river has dried up and you are holding on to the last cup of water. This fear-based hoarding is the quickest way to poverty. To be truly rich, you must be a channel, not a container. You must let money flow through you with a cheerful heart. I use money to bless myself and others. I circulate money with a cheerful heart. When you spend money, do not do so with a heavy heart. Do not look at the price tag and shrink inside. Instead, bless the money as it leaves your hand. Say to it, "Go and do good work and return to me multiplied." When you pay a bill, you are participating in the law of circulation. Many people dread their bills. They treat a bill like a punishment. But a bill is a receipt of a blessing already received. You received the electricity. You received the comfort of your home. You received the food. The bill is simply the balancing of the scales. I pay my debts with gratitude, knowing that as money goes out, it clears the way for more to come in. Think of your lungs. You cannot inhale fresh air until you exhale the old air. If you refuse to exhale because you are afraid of losing oxygen, you will die. You must exhale to make room for the new breath. Paying a bill is the financial exhale. It creates a vacuum in the ether that the universe is compelled to fill. Nature abhors a vacuum. When you empty your hand fearlessly, you are creating a space that draws a new and greater supply into your life. This is why the cheerful giver is always prospered, not because of a moral reward, but because of a mechanical law. They are keeping the pump primed. They are keeping the wheel turning. I spend with faith. I save with purpose. I invest with wisdom. There is a difference between saving from fear and saving for a purpose. Saving from fear is hoarding against a rainy day, and by law, you will attract that rainy day because you have prepared for it. Saving for a purpose is investing in your future joy. It is a positive vibration. We must also address the concept of spiritual debt. All debt is first a debt in consciousness. It is a belief in lack that has solidified into a financial obligation. To clear the debt on paper, you must first clear the debt in your mind. You do this by realizing that you owe no man anything but love. You are one with the source, and the source owes no man. As you align with this truth, the means to pay the physical debt will appear in miraculous ways. I am a master of finance because I am a master of my own mind. I do not cringe when I look at prices. I do not shrink when I look at costs. I see the abundance that backs me. I see the mountain of gold that stands behind me. When you walk into a store, do not identify with the money in your pocket. Identify with the treasury of the kingdom. You may only have $10 in your wallet, but you are backed by the infinite. Walk with that confidence. That vibration of confidence is what opens the secret door. It tells the universe that you are ready for more. You cannot trust the supply if you do not trust the flow. I am a conduit of blessing. Money flows to me and through me. I am not a dam. I am a river. The river is deep. The river is wide. The river is rushing. Nothing can stop this flow. No person can stop it. No event can stop it. No government can stop it. It is a divine flow, and divine forces are unstoppable. By keeping your mind fixed on the circulation, you release the stranglehold of anxiety. You know that money is like blood in the body. It must circulate to keep the body healthy. If it stops in one place, it causes a clot, and a clot can be fatal. Keep the money moving. Tip generously. Pay gladly. Give freely. And as you do, you will find that you can never outgive God. The more you pour out, the more is poured in. You are establishing a rhythm of wealth, a momentum of opulence that will carry you to heights you have never dared to dream. You are safe in the flow. We have established the flow through the law of circulation, and now we arrive at the miraculous principle that governs the expansion of that flow, which is the law of increase. It is not enough to simply let money pass through you like water through a pipe. You are meant to be a fertile ground where the seeds of wealth are planted and multiplied 100-fold. This is the difference between mere survival and true opulence. Survival is keeping what you have. Opulence is the natural result of the law of increase. We must understand that we live in a universe of expansion. Look at nature. You count the seeds in an apple, but you cannot count the apples in a seed. One single acorn contains within it the potential for an entire forest of oak trees. This same power of infinite multiplication lives within your own consciousness and within your own wallet. But this power lies dormant until it is activated by one specific vibration, and that vibration is praise. The law of increase states that whatever you praise grows, and whatever you condemn withers. This is a mental law as certain as the law of gravity. When you look at your current bank balance and you complain about it, or you feel a sinking feeling of lack, you are actually condemning your money. You are placing a curse of shrinkage upon it. You are telling the universe that what you have is not enough, and because the universe is a giant mirror, it reflects that belief back to you as more lack. To activate the law of increase, you must do the exact opposite. You must learn to bless what you have, no matter how small it may seem to the human eye. This is the secret behind the miracle of the loaves and fishes. When faced with a multitude and only a tiny amount of food, the master did not complain. He did not look at the lack. He looked up to the source, and he gave thanks. He blessed the little that he had, and in that act of blessing, the molecular structure of the substance was rearranged and multiplied until there was an overflow. You are the miracle worker in your own life. You are the one who multiplies the loaves and fishes of your income. It does not matter if you only have $1 in your pocket. If you curse that dollar for being lonely, it will remain lonely. But if you bless that dollar, if you see it as a seed of millions, if you are grateful for its presence, you are watering it with the energy of increase. I am one with the power that turns acorns into oak trees. This must be your conviction. You must realize that you are not creating the increase yourself through hard labor. You are allowing the divine life force to expand through you. I am the multiplication. I am the increase. But these are not just words, they are statements of identity. When you identify with the principle of increase, everything in your life begins to expand. My joy is increasing. My peace is increasing. My health is increasing, and my money is increasing. Notice the order here. The increase starts in the invisible realm of joy and peace before it manifests in the visible realm of money. You cannot be miserable and attract increase. Misery is a contraction. Joy is an expansion. You must cultivate a feeling of expansion in your body. Walk like you are expanding. Breathe like you are expanding. It is growing while I sleep. It is growing while I wake. It is growing while I speak. This removes the burden of struggle. The farmer does not stand over the seed and scream at it to grow. He plants it in good soil, he waters it, and then he trusts the law of nature to do the work. You do not have to struggle to make your money grow. You just have to stay in the light. I stay in the vibration of gratitude. Gratitude is the fertilizer of the divine economy. Thank you, God, for my wealth. Thank you, God, for my overflow. Thank you, God, for the millions that are on their way to me now. When you thank God for money that hasn't arrived yet, you are demonstrating the highest form of faith. You are collapsing time. You are bringing the future into the present. I praise the money before I see it. I bless the check before it arrives. I feel the weight of the gold before it touches my hand. This is the law. I believe, and then I receive. Most people wait to receive before they believe, and that is why they wait forever. You must be the initiator. You must be the one who sets the vibration. I see with my inner eye, and what I see is glorious. I see myself living without limits. I see myself giving without counting the cost. This vision is the blueprint that the law of increase uses to build your life. If your vision is small, your life will be small. If your vision is vast, your life will expand to fill that mold. Money is the fuel for my dreams, and my tank is full. My tank is overflowing. We must move beyond the idea of just enough. God is the God of more than enough. The universe is extravagant. Look at the number of stars in the sky. Look at the leaves on the trees. There is no stinginess in nature. Why should there be stinginess in your life? You are part of nature. You are part of God. Therefore, abundance is your natural state. I am the multiplication. I am the increase. Everything I touch prospers because I bring the energy of prosperity to it. I do not wait for the economy to boost my business. I bring the boost with me. I enter a room and the energy rises. I enter a deal and the value increases. I am a beneficial presence on this planet. By expanding my own life, I automatically expand the lives of those around me. Your poverty serves no one. Your wealth serves the world. Therefore, accept the increase. Demand the increase. Command the increase. Speak to your finances and say, "Be fruitful and multiply." This is your divine right. You are walking in the timeline of infinite grace, where the harvest is always plentiful and the laborers are few. Be the laborer who knows how to harvest. Be the one who wields the sickle of gratitude and reaps the bounty that has been prepared for you since the foundation of the world. We have now arrived at the summit of our spiritual work, where we take all the principles of faith and circulation and increase, and we condense them into a single laser beam of intent. We are going to work with a formula that has the power to cut through the thickest steel of poverty consciousness. This is not just a sentence. It is a decree. It is a legal claim made by the child of the king upon the treasury of the kingdom. Words are not merely descriptive, they are radioactive. When you speak a word of truth, you release a vibration that shatters the old patterns of lack in your subconscious mind. We are now going to implant the great affirmation into the soil of your soul. Listen closely to the words and let them vibrate in your bones. Large sums of money come to me quickly and easily under grace in perfect ways. We must dissect this affirmation to understand its atomic power, because your intellect must agree with your spirit for the manifestation to occur. First, we say large sums of money. We do not ask for just enough to get by. That is false modesty. The universe is infinite, and to ask for a pittance is to insult the giver. We demand large sums, not out of greed, but out of the realization that we are here to do large things. You cannot feed the hungry, or build the schools, or support your community with small sums. We are breaking the glass ceiling of your expectations. We are expanding your capacity to receive the ocean instead of the cup. Next we say, "Come to me." This implies magnetic attraction rather than frantic pursuit. You are not chasing the money. You are standing in your power, and the money is moving towards you. You are the inevitable destination of the wealth. Then, we add the crucial qualifiers. Quickly and easily. This shatters the ancient conditioning that says you must work hard and suffer for your reward. That is the curse of Adam, but we are living under the grace of the Christ consciousness. Spirit does not know time. It does not need 40 years to build a fortune. It can collapse time. It can bring a lifetime of wealth in a single day through a single idea or a single contact. It is quick and it is easy because there is no friction in the divine flow. The struggle is only in your resistance. When you say easily, you are greasing the tracks for your train to arrive. Now, we come to the most important phrase of all, which is under grace. This is the spiritual safety clause that separates this teaching from mere mental manipulation. To create wealth under grace means that your gain does not cause another man's loss. It means the wealth comes to you in a way that is harmonious and blessed. If you get money through anxiety or through cheating or through force, that is not under grace, and it will bring sorrow with it. But the blessing of the Lord makes rich and adds no sorrow with it. When you ask for it under grace, you are ensuring that the money comes with peace and with health and with joy. You are asking for the perfect gift that fits your life perfectly. Finally, we say, in perfect ways. This is the ultimate surrender of the how. We do not dictate the channel. We allow infinite intelligence to select the perfect route for the delivery. It might be a check in the mail, or a business breakthrough, or a gift, or an investment that skyrockets. It is perfect because it is designed by a wisdom greater than your own. I repeat this law now, and I want you to internalize it. Large sums of money come to me quickly and easily under grace in perfect ways. It is not hard. It is not slow. It is quick. It is easy. It is under grace. It is perfect. I accept the easy path. I accept the graceful path. I lay down the sword of struggle. I do not need to fight for what is mine. It is already mine. It was given to me before the foundation of the world. I am simply claiming my inheritance. I am walking to the divine bank teller and cashing the check that bears my name. The funds are there. The funds have always been there. I am now awake enough to withdraw them. I withdraw peace. I withdraw plenty. I withdraw power. I am vibrating at the frequency of wealth. I am broadcasting a signal of opulence to the universe, and the universe is responding with a match. Like attracts like. I am gold, so I attract gold. I am abundance, so I attract abundance. I am love, so I attract love. I strip away every label of poor, or struggling, or broke. Those are lies. Those are costumes I used to wear. I take them off now. I burn them in the fire of truth. I put on the royal robe of prosperity. I wear the crown of favor. I walk with the posture of someone who owns the land. I walk with the confidence of someone who knows the king. I am a child of the king, and the king owns everything. Therefore, I lack nothing. This affirmation is now running like a background program in your mind. Even when you are sleeping, your subconscious is whispering. Large sums of money. Even when you are driving or eating or working, the program is running. Quickly and easily. You are reprogramming the software of your destiny. Do not check for results every 5 minutes. You do not dig up a seed to see if it is growing. You trust the process. You trust the law. You trust the affirmation. It is done. It is established. And it cannot return void. Large sums of money are not just possible, they are inevitable. Stand in that knowing. Walk in that certainty. The floodgates are open. We have spoken the word of power, and we have established the channels of supply, but now we must address the most critical factor in the equation of success, which is you. You cannot put new wine into old wineskins. You cannot put a millionaire's fortune into a pauper's consciousness. If you do, the fortune will leak away and the consciousness will shatter. Therefore, the final step in this alchemy is the complete transformation of your identity. For too long you have walked through this life wearing a costume that does not belong to you. You have worn the tattered rags of the victim. You have worn the gray cloak of the struggler. You have worn the heavy boots of the debtor. These are not your skin. They are merely costumes you put on because you were told they fit you. But today is the day of the great unveiling. We are going to strip away these false garments and put on the royal robe of prosperity. I strip away every label of poor or struggling or broke. These words are not descriptions of your reality. They are commands that you have unwittingly given to your subconscious. Every time you say, I am broke, you are instructing your inner servant to maintain a state of brokenness. Today, we fire that old identity. We burn those costumes in the fire of truth. You are not a victim of the economy. You are a master of your own fate. You must begin to walk with the posture of someone who owns the land. Have you ever noticed how a king walks? He does not rush. He does not apologize for taking up space. He does not look down at his feet in shame. He looks up. He surveys his domain. He knows that everything he sees is there to serve him. You must adopt this psychology. You must walk with the confidence of someone who knows the king. I am a child of the king, and the king owns everything. This is the spiritual basis for your dignity. If your father owns the cattle on 1,000 hills, why are you worrying about the price of a steak? If your father owns the stars, why are you begging for a spark? The king's children do not wear rags. The king's children do not beg for bread. To live in lack is to disgrace your royal heritage. It is time to reclaim your dignity. I refuse to settle for less. I do not accept crumbs. Many of you have been sitting under the table, catching the crumbs that fall from life's banquet. You say, "Oh, I will just take whatever I can get." That is false humility. You belong at the table. You belong in the seat of honor. You must demand the best for yourself, not out of vanity, but out of self-respect. I sit at the banquet table. I eat the best. I wear the best. I live the best. This does not mean you spend money you do not have on foolish things. It means you cultivate a mindset of quality. When you buy something, buy the best quality you can afford, even if it is small. One item of quality vibrates at a higher frequency than 10 items of junk. You are teaching your subconscious that you are a person of quality. You are raising your standard. And when you raise your standard, the universe is compelled to meet you there. Life gives you exactly what you accept. If you accept mediocrity, life will give you mediocrity, pressed down and running over. But if you demand excellence, life will rise to meet that demand. I honor the God within me by living a life of quality. I honor the Creator by enjoying the creation. You are meant to enjoy life. You are meant to be happy. You are meant to be free. Money helps you be free, so I accept money with open arms. I put on the royal robe of prosperity. Imagine this robe. It is heavy with gold. It is woven with the threads of divine favor. When you wear this robe, you are protected from the petty arrows of the world. The insults of others cannot touch you. The bad news of the market cannot penetrate this robe. You are insulated by your own knowingness. You are wrapped in the atmosphere of God. I wear the crown of favor. Favor is better than labor. One moment of favor can do more for you than a lifetime of labor. But favor only lands on those who expect it. I expect people to be good to me. I expect doors to open for me. I expect rules to be bent for me. I live under a charm of grace. Things just work out for me. Things just click into place. This is not arrogance, this is alignment. When you know who you are, the world recognizes your authority. People will treat you with the respect that you have for yourself. If you respect your time, others will respect it. If you value your work, others will pay you handsomely for it. I am valuable. My time is valuable. My energy is valuable. My ideas are valuable. The world recognizes my value and rewards me handsomely. I do not apologize for my success. I do not shrink back so that others will not feel insecure. I shine my light so that others may be inspired to shine theirs. My success is a permission slip for others to succeed. I stand tall in this new identity. I am not the person I was yesterday. That person died in the sleep. I woke up as a new being, a being of power, a being of plenty, a being of purpose. I wear my royal robe with pride. I walk into the bank and I feel at home. I walk into the boardroom and I feel at home. I walk into the luxury store and I feel at home. Everywhere I go, I am in my Father's house and everything in it is mine. I accept it. I claim it. I live it. This is who I am. You have now stood in your power and donned the royal robe of prosperity, but a king who cannot defend his borders will soon find his kingdom in ruins. The border of your kingdom is the gate of your mind, and the throne of your destiny is your subconscious. Having established your new identity, you must now become the vigilant guardian of the gate. We must understand that your mind is a sacred sanctuary, a divine palace where only the thoughts of the highest should dwell. However, the world is constantly trying to invade this palace with the muddy feet of lack and the loud voices of limitation. If you allow every wandering thought and every fearful headline to enter your mental home, you will eventually find your royal robe stained and your vision clouded. Today we learn the art of spiritual defense, which is the ultimate protection of your supply. I silence the noise of the world. This is your first decree as a guardian. We live in an age of constant information, which is often just a polite term for constant fear. The news tells you that the economy is failing. The neighbor tells you that jobs are scarce. The relative tells you that you must be careful because times are hard. These are the muddy feet of the world trying to walk through your palace. You must realize that every time you listen to a complaint about lack, you are allowing a seed of poverty to be planted in your soil. You must be ruthless at the gate. You do not have to be rude to people, but you must be silent within yourself. When you hear a conversation of lack, you must mentally slam the door. You must say to yourself that this is not my truth. I do not live in that world. I live in the divine economy where the harvest is always plenty. I silence the news of lack and I silence the complaints of others. Imagine that your mind is a high-frequency radio. If you want to hear the music of the millions, you cannot leave the dial tuned to the static of the struggle. You must guard your mind like a palace. A palace is not open to everyone. It has guards and it has protocols. It only allows those who are invited and those who are dressed for the occasion. You must only allow thoughts of opulence, thoughts of victory, and thoughts of praise to enter your mental home. If a thought of doubt or a thought of how tries to sneak in, you must arrest it at the gate. You must ask that thought for its credentials. Does this thought align with my royal robe? Does this thought belong in the treasury of a king? If the answer is no, you must cast it out into the darkness where it belongs. I am the guardian of the gate. I only let the truth in. And the truth is abundance. The truth is overflow. The truth is more than enough. You must realize that your subconscious mind is a faithful servant, but it has no sense of humor, and it has no power of discrimination. It takes whatever you give it and begins to build it into your reality. If you give it thoughts of debt, it builds debt. If you give it thoughts of wealth, it builds wealth. This is why you must be a strict gatekeeper. You must stop the infection of lack before it reaches the inner sanctum. This is especially true before you go to sleep. Your subconscious is most active while you sleep, and it will work on the last thoughts you gave it. If you go to bed worrying about bills, you are giving your servant an order to find more bills. But if you go to bed wrapped in the feeling of the royal robe, you are ordering your servant to bring you gold. I speak this truth to my cells. I speak this truth to my DNA. I wake up the dormant potential within me. This guarding of the mind is not a passive act, it is a dynamic state of being. You are not just keeping things out, you are actively cultivating the garden within. You are looking for the invisible gold that exists in every situation. Even when a challenge arises, the guardian of the gate does not panic. The guardian says, "There is a divine solution for this, and I look for the opening." You refuse to look at the appearance of lack. You look through the appearance to the substance behind it. There is a story of a woman who was down to her last dollar, but she refused to call herself poor. She called herself temporarily inconvenienced in the visible but forever wealthy in the invisible. Because she guarded her mind against the label of poverty, the money rushed back to her in a week. I have the power to create wealth. I have the ideas to create wealth. I have the energy to create wealth. It is inside me. It is waking up. It is rising. When you guard your mind, you are protecting this rising energy. You are making sure that the fire of your faith is not put out by the cold water of other people's opinions. Most people are lack drunk. They are intoxicated by the belief in struggle. You must stay sober. You must stay clear. You must be the one who stands tall when others are shrinking. This mental discipline is the price of freedom. It is the work of the initiate. You are no longer a leaf blown by the wind of public opinion. You are the wind. You are the commander of your own atoms. I only allow thoughts of victory to enter my mental home. I am the master of my own mental palace. I am the architect of my own reality. By guarding the gate, I am ensuring that the divine flow is never interrupted. I am keeping the channel clear. I am keeping the vibration high. And because I am faithful at the gate, the universe is faithful at the delivery. My world is lavish because my mind is lavish. My world is peaceful because I refuse to entertain the noise of conflict. I am the guardian, and my kingdom is secure. I stand at my post with joy, knowing that my watch is the secret to my unending prosperity. The gates are shut to lack, and they are wide open to the infinite good that is my divine birthright. My mind is a fortress of wealth, and nothing can enter that does not bless me. We have secured the borders of our mental palace, and we have silenced the static of the world, but now we must learn to navigate by the light of the inner flame. Many seekers of truth make the mistake of believing that spiritual work is purely passive. They think that once they have donned the royal robe and made their affirmations, they should simply sit in a chair and wait for the ceiling to open and rain gold. But the divine economy is a dynamic system of co-creation. The infinite intelligence provides the substance, but it requires your physical cooperation to bring that substance into the visible world. This cooperation happens through the faculty of intuition. Intuition is the voice of your supply. It is the bridge between the invisible idea and the visible bank deposit. While your intellect is busy calculating and worrying, your intuition is quietly whispering the specific directions to your treasure. You must understand that intuition is not a guess or a feeling of nervous excitement. It is a direct knowing. It is a spiritual telegram sent from the Holy of Holies to your conscious mind. Most people miss their blessings because they are too busy shouting at God to listen to the answer. You have already released the how to the infinite, and now the infinite is handing the how back to you in the form of small, manageable steps. These steps are called hunches or leads. You might have a sudden urge to call an old friend you haven't spoken to in years. You might feel a persistent pull to walk down a different street on your way to lunch or to visit a bookstore you usually ignore. To the carnal mind, these seem like random coincidences or distractions, but to the spiritual initiate, they are the strategic movements of the divine design. I follow the whisper, and I find the treasure. You must become as sensitive as a compass needle. The treasure is always there, but it is rarely found through the heavy-handed force of the intellect. It is found through the subtle leadings of the spirit. There is a profound difference between the intellect and the intuition. The intellect is the voice of the world. It is based on past experiences and limited logic. It argues and analyzes. It says that the deal looks good on paper, so you must take it even if you feel a knot in your stomach. But the intuition is the voice of the soul. It sees the end from the beginning. It knows who is honest and who is not. It knows which door leads to a palace and which leads to a trap. If your intellect says yes but your gut says no, you must have the courage to trust the gut. I am guided by divine intelligence in all my financial affairs. This means I do not guess and I do not gamble. I make the right moves because I am led by a higher hand. I listen to my intuition above all else. I have a gut feeling that leads me to gold. There is a story of a woman who was in desperate need of a specific sum of money to save her business. She made her affirmations and stayed in the light, but for days nothing happened. One afternoon she felt a sudden and irrational hunch to go to a local park and sit on a specific bench. Her intellect screamed that this was a waste of time. Her intellect told her she should be at her desk making calls or sending emails. But she had learned the law of the lead. She went to the park and sat on the bench. Within 20 minutes, an old acquaintance sat down beside her. During their conversation, it was revealed that this person was looking for exactly the type of service her business provided, and they signed a contract on the spot. This is the magic path. The money was not in her desk. The money was in the park. But she could only find it by following the whisper. You must realize that your supply is often hidden in the place your intellect would never look. I am tuned in. I am turned on. I am connected. When you are stressed or angry, your mental radio is filled with static, and you cannot hear the signal of your supply. But when you are peaceful, when you are wrapped in your royal robe, you are perfectly tuned. You become effortless. You find yourself at the right place at the right time, meeting the right partner and finding the right deal. People will say you are lucky, but you will know that you are simply aligned. There is no competition in my world because my intuition is leading me to my own specific plot of ground. What belongs to me by right of consciousness cannot be lost, and no one else can take it because no one else hears my specific whisper. I listen to my intuition. My intuition is the voice of my supply. It whispers to me, go here, do this, call him, buy that. I follow the whisper and I find the treasure. The treasure is never missing. It is always waiting for you to wake up and listen. Stop trying to figure it all out with your brain. Your brain is a calculator, but your intuition is a GPS. Let the GPS guide you through the fog of the world. I am the captain of my soul, and my intuition is my navigator. I rest in the knowing that every lead I follow is bringing me closer to the manifestation of my $1,000,000 vision. I am ready to move. I am ready to act. I am ready to receive. The voice is speaking now, and I am listening with an open heart and an open hand. We have reached the final gate of our journey, and we now stand before the most powerful yet most misunderstood principle in the divine economy, which is the act of total surrender. Most people hear the word surrender, and they think of defeat or giving up, but in the world of the spiritual initiate, surrender is the ultimate victory. It is the moment you stop trying to force life to happen and you finally allow it to happen. You have done the work of clearing the past and guarding your mind, and now you must lay down the oars and let the current of the infinite carry you to your destination. I surrender to the flow of gold. I surrender to the river of riches. This is not a passive surrender of laziness. It is an active surrender of absolute trust. Imagine a swimmer who has been fighting a powerful current for years, trying to reach a distant shore of wealth. He is exhausted, and his muscles are screaming with the effort of the struggle. But the moment he stops fighting and flips onto his back, he realizes that the river was always moving toward the very shore he wanted to reach. By stopping the struggle, he allows the river to do the work for him. This river is the divine flow of substance, and it is rushing through your life right now. I let the river carry me. I let it float me to my destination. This is the state of non-resistance which Florence Scovel Shinn taught as the highest form of spiritual practice. When you resist a situation, you tie it to you. When you fight debt, you magnify debt. When you struggle for money, you push it away with the very energy of your effort. But when you surrender, you remove the friction from the wire, and the electricity of abundance can finally flow through. You must realize that the infinite intelligence does not need your help to find the gold. It only needs your permission. By surrendering, you are giving that permission. You are saying, I am safe, I am secure, and I am supplied. You are acknowledging that God is your source, and God is your supply, and because you are one with God, you are your own source. The wealth is not outside of you waiting to be captured, it is inside of you waiting to be released. You are the wealth you have been waiting for. You are the miracle you have been praying for. I let go of anxiety. I let go of the tight chest and the shallow breath. This physical tension is the outward sign of a mind that is still trying to control the how. Today we release that tension. We breathe deep and we relax our shoulders and we smile because we know it is working. The law is working in the invisible, even if we cannot see the roots growing under the soil. A farmer does not dig up his seeds every hour to see if they are growing. He rests in the certainty of the law of growth. You must rest in the certainty of the law of wealth. The transmission of the money is happening in the invisible and the deposit is coming in the visible. I rest in the knowing. I rest in the certainty. This is the faith of a mustard seed that moves mountains of lack. I command every mountain of debt to move and be cast into the sea. I stand on the flat plain of prosperity, where the view is clear and the horizon is bright. I am the answer, and I am the key. I turn the key now, and I unlock the door to the hidden treasury. I step through into a life where struggle is a distant memory. It is done. It is done. It is done. These are the most powerful words in the universe. They signify that the spiritual transaction is complete. When you say it is done, you are not asking for a favor. You are stating a fact. You are cashing the check that has already been signed by the infinite. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gratitude is the seal on the contract. It is the final vibration that locks the manifestation into your physical reality. As you walk away from this moment, you must walk as a person who has already received. You do not look for the money, you walk in the feeling of the money. You do not wait for the freedom you live. The freedom? Large sums of money come to me quickly and easily under grace in perfect ways. I let it be so. I do not struggle and I do not strain. I am a conduit for the river of gold, and that river is deep and wide and unstoppable. No person, no event, and no government can stop this flow because it is a divine flow. I am at peace. I am rich. I am grateful. And so it is. You are now a master of the divine economy. You have the secret and you have the power. Go forth and live the life of opulence that was prepared for you since the foundation of the world. The door is open and it shall never be shut again. Your journey through the secret door has only just begun. To stay aligned with this high vibration and to receive daily spiritual nourishment, ensure you are subscribed with notifications turned on. Share this word with one person you wish to see prosper. As you leave this space, remember that you are a child of the King, and the King's children lack nothing. We will see you in the next lecture of light.